Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mar. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the 9-hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah, man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep. Go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laps in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. About to raise the bar, wild card mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk, Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk, Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mar. Hey. Wild card mar. Wild card mar. I.O.W. Late night sports. Wild card mar. Wild card mar. I.O.W. Late night sports. Wild card mar. Wild card mar. I.O.W. Late night sports. Wild card mar. Wild card mar. I.O.W. Late night sports. Hey.
Give me a second, let me light up real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to the I.O.W. Sports Late Night Hour Edition, hosted by Mr. Modelo himself. You already know the name by now. You know what I'm saying? Wild Card Mar. You already know the vibe. Pull up, let's go.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mar.
Yeah. Boy, woo! Busy Monday. Your boy Wildcard Mar is here. I'm here. I'm hip to everything. What's happening in the sports world? Man, feeling good, feeling great, feeling good. Man, I've had a busy day today. This podcast, weekend sports recap with my guy WJJ Jones. Y'all check us out every Monday, 7 p.m. Standard Time. 300 episode of I.O.W. Sports at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I was on with my man Rod Uncensored. Check him out. Busy day for me, but I love it. Love it. Love the grind. Love it. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of I.O.W. Sports Late Night Hour Edition. This episode 397. Damn, I'm coming up on 400 episodes of this thing. Woo! Yeah, I'm grinding, baby. Anyway, please show some love to my guy. I shout him out every time. I'm going to continue to do it. See it scrolling on the bottom of the screen. That's my dude. That's my homie. That's my brother from another mother. Silent Hill TDS. Made the dope intro for the podcast. Hey, and quite frankly, I think it's the dopest intro in the podcast game. Argue with your mama. Don't argue with me. So tap in with all his content. Let me pull it back up. Hitchhikers on YouTube. All right, Hitchhikers. And while you're over there on YouTube, hey, come follow us. Show some love to us. I.O.W. Sports Network, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We there. I.O.W. Sports 1, Twitter. We there. Like, share, subscribe to everything. We appreciate the support. We wouldn't have made it to 300 episodes if you guys didn't show that support, show that love. So, thank you. And then, of course, y'all can follow me anywhere, everywhere. KC Wildcard Mar on the Twitter, Wildcard Mar on the Facebook and Instagram. I'm there. I'm everywhere. But you know what it is. I'm happy for tonight. Got a great episode packed. We talking football tonight. And none other than I got a special guest with me. I love talking football with this guy. Been a great contributor to all I.O.W. sports content. He keeps our page on the Facebook page. If you haven't joined the Facebook page, the Facebook group, please join it. Man, I couldn't made it to episode 300 without people like my guy that's about to join me, my man, Randy Weber. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, how you doing? Happy anniversary for the show.
Hey, I appreciate it. And you know what? Before we get started, I got to thank cats like you. Randy, I got to thank you, man. You've been a very, very dope supporter of what we've been doing here at I.O.W. Sports. You keep the page jumping, never afraid to give your take. You stand on it. You keep it. You keep the energy level up. And like I said, man, you've been on the Late Night Owl show numerous times. So I thank you. I thank you for all your support that you have been throwing our way for I.O.W. Sports, man. It's cats like you that keeps us motivated to keep doing what we're doing. It sounds corny and cheesy. I'm having my sentimental moment. Let me have it. Just let
Yeah, of course, it's the Christmas season. This is the time for it.
No, but no. In all sincerity, it's people like you that always, y'all don't have to, be so active and showing support for what we do. So, man, from the bottom of my heart, man, I thank you. Happy holidays to you and your family, man. I wish you nothing but great success and wealth. Shout out anything you want to plug. If you got content you want people to follow, this your time. Go ahead, brother.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me all these times. I love talking sports. I've always been a huge sports fan. I love the chance to get on a show and talk about it. I know, with a lot of shows, you have to be like super established in the field. Like only have like top, head coaches and like top commentators and analysts and all of that. But I love this opportunity for us to just talk about sports. Like you bring people on who just love sports and just want to talk about it. And I love that you provide a platform with us to do that. And I think that's great. So I appreciate you having me on all these times.
No doubt, bro.
As far as stuff that I want to plug, I do audio recording. I mix, record, master, make beats. I do all of that. I am I'm working on a YouTube channel myself, Sports Debate Arena, which I think a lot of your fans would also love to see. A platform for people to just come on and popular sports topics of the day. We'll have two sides. They'll duke it out. It'll be fun content. We'd love to bring people of all kinds onto the platform to do that. So once I get that up, then I'll cross promote with Wildcard Mar, and we can get that all done too.
Yeah, we don't have to do it tonight, but let's talk off air because anything that you need help getting that set up, please don't be shy to ask. I'm willing to help with anything you need to make sure we can make your dream a reality, my brother. But yeah, go ahead, plug away, brother.
No, that's all that I have, man. Appreciate that.
No doubt. The Eagles L3. That's a very unique name that you got there tonight, my brother. So let's start there, man. For those who didn't check out the Monday Night Football game, just ended a few moments ago. Eagles now in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. First, it was the 49ers came in the Philly game, a beatdown. They go down to Dallas, catch a beatdown, and then they go to Seattle tonight, and they were not able to walk away with a W, losing 20-17 last minute touchdown pass from Drew Lock to Jackson Smith-Njigba. In the Pick'em League, I picked the Seahawks. I think I was the only guy to pick the Seahawks. And my reason for that was I didn't see Darius Slay was going to play. And I was like, oh, shit, who's going to cover DK? Well, surprisingly, DK actually didn't have a great game tonight. Mm-hmm. He made a couple of catches down the stretch. That was clutch. I'll give him that.
Especially in that last drive.
Yeah, especially in that last drive. Made a couple of great catches in that last drive to help set up that last touchdown. Mm-hmm. But it was I was looking at some of the injuries, and I was also looking at the fact that the Eagles been giving up the cheeks on the passing game all season. They have been getting blown the hell up in the secondary. They even go get Kevin Byard from the Titans, and it still ain't helped. I don't know what they're going to do with the secondary, but I know there's one thing that that's been exposed of them, especially going in when you get closer to the playoffs. Bro, I'm just going to throw the ball on you because y'all haven't shown anything of any type of movement that y'all gonna stop it. So, and that's with Darius Slay on the field. I mean, they've been one of the worst secondaries. I mean, call it what it is. Just kind of give me your thoughts on the game tonight. Obviously, you being an NFC East fan of the New York Giants, I'm pretty sure you definitely love the fact that they definitely took that loss.
Thrilled. What a game. What a great game with a lovely result. Okay, so here's the thing with the Eagles, right? So they lost to the 49ers. And I was like, okay, like this is a really bad sign for the Eagles. And in using that as an example, like, well, it was one loss and it was against probably the best team in the NFC. So like, okay, most people were gonna give that a pass. That's fine. I get it. Then they lost to the Cowboys. Both of which very decisive losses. And then, same deal. It's like, okay, well, it's the Cowboys. They're one of the better teams in the NFC. Okay, fine. They just lost to Drew Lock now. So, and it's not a bad team, but it's without their starting QB. It's a above average team that should be far worse than them, and they didn't have their starting QB, and they still lost. So, at what point are we going to say, like, okay, this is their decline? They're starting to decline. The secondary is probably the biggest reason why. They are starting to come down. They're not the eater of the worlds they were last year. And we were even seeing signs of that before because they barely beat the Commanders earlier this year. They've been winning most of their games.
The Commanders gave it to them twice in both games.
Yeah, exactly. And they've been winning almost all of their games in really close games. They've been turning over the ball a lot more than they did last year. The pieces, most of the pieces are still relatively the same, but they lost a good amount of defensive starters between last year and this year. And we're really starting to see the effect of that. And especially without Darius Slay. Like, I think the idea of them being the best team in the NFC is dead now. I think that's absolutely dead. Where their current standing now is what the most reasonable projection for them be going into the playoffs now. I don't think they have a chance against the 49ers. They might still get to the NFC Championship game, but even that's debatable at this point.
I think it's highly debatable. I mean, just to your point, you look at pretty much the only thing that's unstoppable with them right now is the Philly brother push, whatever the hell they for it. Other than that, that's AJ Brown has had a solid year. DeVonta Smith solid. For some reason, and I don't know what the problem is. They can't stay consistent with their running game, and I'm talking about not outside of Jalen Hurts, because I feel like Jalen Hurts has been able to do more damage with his feet this year than more passing. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts can't pass. I'm saying is that when you see games like tonight, I mean, he didn't have great numbers tonight. He threw for less than 200 yards, and he didn't throw a touchdown. So
he was a better passer last year. That was another thing that declined a bit.
Yeah.
Even though they have the on paper best O-line, like Lane Johnson's been getting a lot of penalties this year. So everything is starting to be a little bit worse. The only thing that I think has improved, I will say that their running game, I think, is better this year.
Yes.
I think Swift has been an improvement in that regard.
Swift has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me with their, and I'm pretty sure Eagles fans would agree with me. This is what kills me with their season. Why are you getting away from the running game? Obviously, Jalen Hurts, he threw in 13 carries, 82 yards, and 2 touchdowns tonight. I mean, that sounds like a very productive night on the ground. DeAndre Swift, 18 carries, 74 yards. So you got two running backs, or pretty much, a running back and a quarterback that's pretty much got you over 100 yards by just them two combined. Why are you dropping back 31 times? Why? And not only that, you drop back 31 times, you don't even complete half of it. You're 17 to 31. You barely get over 50% completion percentage, 143 yards and 2 turnovers, 2 INTs.
Yeah.
I mean,
they've been turning over the ball a good amount. Do you remember that Vikings game, like really early into the season, where both teams were basically just giving the ball to each other? That should have been easy for them. That should have been a demolition for them. Yeah. But because they kept turning the ball over, like they barely squeaked that one out.
Mm-hmm. Eagles just don't look. And look, I get it. Got 10 wins. You had you know what they remind me of?
Mm-hmm.
They remind me of the Minnesota Vikings from last year, where they won a lot of one-possession games.
Yes.
But now they're starting to lose. They lost a one-possession game tonight. But other than that, they got their, twice got their asses kicked, and then they lost another one-possession game to the Jets. So to your point of not looking like world beaters, is more like is almost as if they are not more self-inflicted wounds, I should say.
Self-sabotaging, yeah.
Self-sabotaging. And it's not and look, I give them credit because they had a daunting schedule where they literally was facing some top competition in a short span of time. I think it was between week 11 and week 14 or 15 where they went Chiefs, Cowboys, Niners, and somebody else, and Bills. So you got 4 teams in a row in a matter of a month and a half, and you're like, shit, murderous row. I give them credit for at least coming out of that, at least 2-2 for the most part. But it's when you play games like this to lesser competition, just like with the Jets, lesser competition, and Jalen Hurts is turning the ball over, that leads me for a pause to cause, because I'm like, well, you're doing stuff like this, and then you get your ass kicked by the 2 top teams in the NFC, lose to the Cowboys in bad fashion, lose to the 49ers. Now I'm looking at the Eagles like, well, can you really hang with them 2 now?
To compare it to your Vikings comparison, you remember what happened to the Vikings once they were in the playoffs?
One and done.
Yeah, we might be looking at the same situation here. Like, I don't know if at what point that this happened, because you're right, they did go on a month streak of beating the best teams for a while, at least in the AFC. So they did do that, to their credit. But I don't know at what period they kind of started this decline. Maybe it was after the 49ers loss is when we kind of started seeing this. But yeah, I mean, we could be looking at a one and done situation here.
It's get too cute for their own good, I should say, for Nick Sirianni. Like, especially when it comes with the play calling. I just don't understand sometimes, like, it's like, stop trying to be too cute, and just stick to some of the stuff that actually makes sense. And right now, I'm looking at the standings. I mean, yes, they both 10-4. Dallas has the right now, they have the better conference record, so they're ahead of Philly. So if things were to end right now, well, I should say this: Dallas has control of that division right now. If they went out, they're pretty much that'll seal the deal. And then next, Philly's a wild card; they'll be a 5.
And I would love for us to talk about the Cowboys game once we're done with this one.
Please, I mean, we're talking about an NFC East team. Let's dive into it.
That was beautiful. That was so good. Yeah, remember when the Bills were like this kind of weird team before they fired Ken Dorsey for like those 3 weeks, where we're like, are the Bills even good? Well, apparently they're good. Either that or the Cowboys are just that bad. I think it's mostly the Bills being that good. Wow. When they fired Ken Dorsey, my first impression of that was, is this just kind of an excuse to cover for Josh Allen?
I thought it was.
Yeah, because Ken Dorsey had been coaching for all the games where he performed incredibly.
Yeah.
So, like, why, if the problem was really him, then why would this all of a sudden have happened? I think it's just because Josh Allen is so hit and miss. He is such a big player that he gets a lot of touchdowns and he gets a lot of turnovers. So you're taking the good with the bad. And I think we just happened to see a streak of the bad. I don't think that was Ken Dorsey's, or at least I didn't think that was Ken Dorsey's fault. But since they got rid of him, they went back to being world beaters. So maybe that really was it. Maybe they were right. They beat the Chiefs, and then they immediately went and absolutely killed the Cowboys. Their only touchdown was the garbage time.
Yeah. I mean, geez. I really don't even know what to even make of the Cowboys now because of actually what happened. Because like I said today on other shows, I've always had that, the Cowboys and Cowboys. They'll stack up, cheap little easy wins, and and then next, here they are in the playoffs with double-digit wins, and then hit the second round, and then pack their bags to Cancun.
As they've been doing since before Pac and Biggie got shot.
Who shot you? Like, it's weird because it's I'm like, damn, man, we've seen this show, this pony show so many times in this vicious cycle of Cowboys. We've seen this for the last since '96. We're coming up on literally almost 30 plus years of the same cycle, vicious cycle with these Cowboys, where they'll stack up all these damn wins and have nothing to show for when it comes to playoff time. My problem is I finally the minute. So I was like, okay, they beat Seattle. That was at the point in time, Seattle was a game above 500. So I'm like, yeah, I'll give y'all a little credit for that. Seattle was up, I think, at double digits by at some point in that game, and Cowboys, we know, would have folded and just got their ass kicked at home and folded. So I gave them a little credit for coming back, and Dak played well in that game. And then, in the following week, they did what they did to Philly. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm thinking, oh man, let me start drinking the Cowboys Kool-Aid. They playing well.
You did drink the Cowboys Kool-Aid, man. Like we went back and forth about that.
And next thing I know, man, I had a gut feeling. I'm like, damn, man, as soon as I start giving these motherfuckers credit, they gonna fucking round and just do Cowboy shit. And lo and behold, they did Cowboy shit last night. And I'm just like, this is when I had a glimpse of what being a Cowboys fan was. I had a glimpse. I don't know how to do it.
The insane disappointment, and also like the disappointment that's always immediately following like high expectations being created. Always. It's always the Cowboys year. That's like the running joke with Cowboys fans. Well, like, I mean, here we are again. And they weren't the only ones that bought it this time. Like all the media bought it, the analysts bought it, everyone bought it.
Randy, but I've been going 30 plus years not buying into it. The time I finally do it, they still do Cowboy shit. I cannot ever trust you guys ever again. I can't do it.
And this is honestly probably their best year in a really long time. Like, this Cowboys version of the team is the best team they've had maybe since the 90s.
Facts.
And they're still doing it. It's just them. It doesn't matter how much they stack both sides of the ball. This is just what they do now.
I can't trust them. And when it comes to a big time matchup, next big time matchup, well, hell, they got Miami coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can trust them against that.
This is honestly, it's actually funny that it's going to be Cowboys versus Dolphins. That was the big debate that we had. Were those two teams, whoever wins that matchup, like, will prove one of us potentially right or potentially wrong, or maybe both of us wrong, depending on how it goes.
Then they got the Lions after that. I can't trust them against the Lions.
Yeah. Now, the Lions were another one. The Lions had that weird month where they were just awful, and now they're great again.
Hell, and then they finished the season off against Commanders in Washington. Luckily, they got the Commanders. They're probably not going to do any damn thing anyway. But I'm looking at two big matchups that are very key to the Cowboys. Future, at least in the standings of the playoffs for sure. And I can't trust them.
I know it's that's the thing. Like they're barely holding on to the division right now. If they lose those two games, then they go down to the wild card. So it's pivotal for them to win those two games. And yeah, I don't trust them to win those two games.
If they lose those two games, Randy, just forgive me for anything that I've ever said, because that is just hogwash. Because they're going to make me look like a fool that I took a sip of the Kool-Aid. And it's like, damn it. If they lose those two games, there's no way in hell that they could bounce back and make any type of run in the playoffs. No way.
No, absolutely not. Because what I said was basically like the 49ers are the team in the NFC. They're the team that's going to the Super Bowl. I don't think there's any
NFL
doubt about that now. Yeah, they're the team in the NFL, at least the NFC.
Definitely NFC, but NFL. I'm going NFL only because when you look at besides the 49ers in the NFC, there's not a team that says that they can overthrow the 49ers in the NFC. And the reason why I also say NFL because the AFC is so damn wide open. Now I'll be honest. If Baltimore is able to defeat San Fran on Christmas night, then we have a different conversation.
Yes.
But until then, right now, 49ers are probably the only 100% guarantee that I'm like, yo, I could go to Vegas and put money on them to go win this Super Bowl. That's it.
Yeah. I'd be willing to put my fucking like college tuition. I'd be willing to like get a second mortgage.
Whoa.
On them at least get into the Super Bowl.
Hold on, Randy, don't do it. Don't risk the college tuition, dog. We need you to finish the school. Don't bet the college tuition.
Okay. But yeah, like that's how confident I am in them being the NFC champion. Like no other team has proven that they can really be like that they can beat the other best teams. The 49ers have beaten them all. Now I do agree with you in regards to the Ravens. If they lose against the Ravens, then maybe it's a little open and shut. But they've still beaten all of the best NFC teams already. They beat the Cowboys. They killed the Cowboys. They killed the Eagles. Yeah. So I mean, did they play the Lions? Am I forgetting?
I wouldn't. Even if they did, I still wouldn't trust the Lions to do anything with that. So,
yeah, not after all the games before yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So who do you think is winning 49ers Ravens? Let's talk about that. Let's talk predictions.
Oh shit, man. Man, to be honest, man, I'm looking at two very, very physical teams. But here's the thing. I've also seen the 49ers who are typically the bullies. And when they face another bully and they get out bullied, they don't look so much 49er-ish.
True. That is true.
And I'm speaking particularly in that Cleveland Browns game. And somehow all the Browns needed was PJ Walker just to make enough plays. And if anybody has seen anything of what Lamar Jackson can do, I'm pretty sure that I have faith in what Lamar Jackson can do against the 49ers defense if PJ Walker could have done.
Yeah, but in the Browns game, like that's the game that CMC and Debo both got hurt in, isn't it?
Got knocked out the game.
Well, that's why they won.
Well, yeah, true. But I'm also saying they got knocked out because Browns were also just more physical than what the 49ers were.
Yes.
When you see a bully gets out bullied, that's what scares me with the 49ers. Because then that's when you see Debo, CMC, even Trent Williams got knocked out that game. When you start seeing guys who are pivotal to, Purdy's success, and we can have that conversation in just a second. It's when you see those people start leaving the game, that's when you start seeing the normalcy of Purdy come to light, and they don't look the same team. And just for me, You know, they'll probably give Purdy the MVP. But my thing is that game was very indicative of him, because even without Debo, even without CMC and Trent Williams, he still has more weaponry on his offense than most quarterbacks.
Oh, for sure.
Brandon Ayuk has been playing out of his mind this year.
Yeah.
George Kittle is still a top 3, top 5 tight end in the game. So it's not like he was without anything.
Yeah, and that's the thing also. Like, and this, to be fair, because I was actually just having this conversation with somebody about the whole MVP race not that long ago. And he was saying that he thinks that Purdy should win it. And if we're just talking numbers, like who's statistically been the best quarterback, you could make a very serious argument for Purdy.
Yeah.
If you're just talking win-loss record, you could make a serious argument for Purdy. But here's the thing with Purdy, and I want to give Purdy credit for doing what he has done, because I don't think you could just take any quarterback and even in that great system make them a superstar. I don't think if you took like Zach Wilson, then they would still be the team that they are now. Purdy clearly has something to do with it, but he's probably not even the most valuable player on his own team. So I don't think he can be the most valuable player in the league.
I'm so clipping that. I am clipping that, because that Randy CC, this is what I love the hell out of you, because when you look at the word most valuable player, MVP, you have to emphasize value.
Yeah.
And here's my thing with Purdy, and this is not a knock on him. When you look at Kyle Shanahan's system and what he has had since he's gotten to San Francisco, there's been a point in time that C.J. Beathard was accurate. Y'all know where C.J. Beathard's at? Yeah, he's a backup in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Garoppolo.
Nick Mullins even was pretty accurate for a spell in San Francisco in that system. You know where he's at? He's a backup in Minnesota that just happens to start because Kirk Cousins is hurt, and Josh Dobbs' fairy tale finally, the pumpkin finally arrived at midnight and the carrots just disappeared. So, like you said, Jimmy G, he was a backup in New England, and all of a sudden comes to San Francisco and he looks like a star, right?
And then he goes to the Raiders, and then we see what he really is. Now he's throwing interceptions all over the place.
Thank you. So
with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs on that offense.
So my thing is I get it. They want to throw a lot of love towards Purdy, but the precedent has been set that Kyle Shanahan's system is damn near, idiot proof. It is damn near, it's fail proof almost. The only person that has failed in that system is Trey Lance, and didn't get enough time in it. But I think a lot of people don't realize that Trey Lance doesn't fit that same mold as a Jimmy G or Brock Purdy or, C.J. Beathard or Nick Mullins. He doesn't fit that same mold. And they tried to put a square peg and fit it in a circle, and it just didn't. Or a circle peg into a square hole, whatever the saying is. He just didn't fit.
Yeah.
Trey Lance
also he got injured like almost immediately.
Injured, didn't get a chance to really, feel the potential of what he possibly could be. But I also think that Kyle Shanahan's system isn't made to be tailored around players. It's meant for players to fit around his system. And with that being said, Brock Purdy fits Kyle Shanahan's system perfectly. And so you see the numbers get elevated. You see the accuracy, the touchdowns,
arguably even better than Garoppolo did, because
better than Garoppolo.
Yeah, because he's leading the league in yards per reception, yards per attempt. So that's something that even Garoppolo couldn't do. So he's throwing it downfield more. He's doing a little bit less in terms of checkdowns, but it's still generally the same system,
same concept. So pretty much, in even what you're saying, let's look at it this way: Purdy doesn't exist if Garoppolo is actually a healthy motherfucker.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, if you look at the numbers, Garoppolo was a winning quarterback. The numbers were up. The interceptions were down. It's Garoppolo really fit Shanahan's system to a T. The only problem was the guy couldn't stay healthy. We're not having this conversation about Purdy if Garoppolo is healthy. This is my biggest thing about trying to don Purdy the MVP, when it's like the system has set precedent that anybody can succeed as long as you fit the mold of what Kyle Shanahan's system is designed to do. Now, with all that being said, he still got to make the throws.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make the plays, and I give him that credit. True.
Yeah.
And that's what goes into that conversation of what Cam Newton was talking about, game changers and game managers. And a lot of people take game managers or system quarterbacks and they throw a negative tone on it, and that's not the case. That's
they're therefore a bad quarterback. And no, they're not. Like I said, Zach Wilson wouldn't be able to do the same thing. I don't think if you took like the worst quarterbacks in the league right now, like they wouldn't be able to do what he's doing. He's clearly doing his part very well. Yes.
But when you said that he's not the most valuable person on that team, that resonates.
Mm-hmm. It's probably CMC. And he might not even be the third most. He might not even be, I'm not the third. He might not even be the second most valuable player on that team. Debo has an argument for it. I think Nick Bosa has an argument for it.
CMC, Bosa. Yeah. Hell, you could might even go to Kittle for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Trent Williams.
They're arguing. Warner. They're arguably all roughly equal of value because they all fit a system together that makes them all powerful as a unit. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, who is, in your mind, who would you give the MVP to at this current moment? And
at this current moment, me personally, I would have given it to Tyreek, and that's even with him missing the game. Mm-hmm. Because when I break down most valuable, and I get it, just follow me now. When he got hurt last Monday against Tennessee, like that offense went completely dead.
Yeah.
And I get the offense without him yesterday still put up good points against a Jets defense that has, they did their part all season. The Jets offense let them down all season. Let's be honest about that. But the reason why I know a lot of people say, well, they were able to, when they lost Tyreek Hill in the moment last Monday, and you got a whole offense that is centered around Tyreek, it's going to take you some time to adjust. So there were times where that offense is sputtered because they're still trying to figure out how to operate without Tyreek. Mm-hmm. Now, when you got a full week's worth of practice, you're able to adjust a lot easier because now you get the advantage of practicing of what your team could look like without Tyreek because he didn't practice all week. Yeah. So now when you go into the next game, you're like, oh man, we do have weapons outside of Tyreek. Still got Raheem Mostert, still got Jalen Waddle, still got some guys that can make some plays. Yeah. So you're able to do that. Me personally, and especially if Tyreek hits 2K, I would give it to him hands down because that's something that hasn't been done before.
I agree. That was my stance. If he gets 2K, I think he has to be MVP. If you break the record for your position, I think you have to be. Yeah.
Because what Calvin Johnson did of 1964 was ridiculous. And you surpassed that, hit 2K, something that's never been done before. And let's be honest, he's elevated Tua.
Yeah.
I mean, when you elevate other players because of what you do and what you are, that adds value to what you are as a player.
Absolutely. I do think Tua is another quarterback that I think gets unfairly dogged a bit, saying that he's only his weapons. I don't think that's true. But yeah, clearly Hill is lifting him like above where his probably normal ceiling otherwise would be, for sure.
Let's look at it this way. Tua was getting better when he had Jalen Waddle. He was getting better because that's a solid weapon. Mm-hmm. But Jalen Waddle, and it's not a dig on him, he's not at Tyreek's level yet.
Yeah, no, he's not.
And so when you add a Tyreek Hill, a person of that dynamic abilities, I mean, that elevates a lot of things. And, even Jalen Waddle, I'm pretty sure he'll be first to admit that, hey, man, I'm glad he's on my team. He opens up a lot of things for me.
Yeah, exactly. If you have all of your deep covers covering the other guy, like that gives you tons of advantage, especially when you're almost as fast as that guy is.
Exactly. So If I ever had a vote, if I did have a vote right now, mine would definitely go Tyreek 1, and then I would probably tie Purdy and Dak at 2. I would tie him just because of the fact that I think well, no, because I would probably go Purdy 2, then Dak 3. Because 2 ass whoopings from the 49ers and the Bills, and he didn't perform well in them. It kind of speaks volume. I'm just saying, kind of a little bit of volume in that. So that's why I'll probably vote like that if I had a vote right now.
So my 1 would also be Tyreek. My 2 would be Lamar Jackson. And here's why I say Lamar Jackson. If you look at all of the other QBs of top teams in the league, so let's kind of cut down to like the consensus Super Bowl around, quarterbacks. So that would be 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles, Ravens, Dolphins, and we're definitely forgetting somebody.
Probably Lions and Chiefs, maybe.
Yeah, Lions and Chiefs. Okay. Out of all of them, who would you say has the least help in terms of weapons? Lamar, right?
I mean,
maybe Mahomes, but at least he has Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice is showing promises.
Yeah.
For Baltimore, he's already lost Mark Andrews.
Yeah, and then he has Rashad Bateman. He has who's old now.
Rashad is not consistent enough, so I couldn't add him as a weapon. Zay Flowers is solid.
Yeah.
OBJ.
He has a solid rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a solid rookie. He has a player, an older player who's been fine, but not a superstar. And then he has Rashad Bateman, who's like you said, has been inconsistent.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's actively had the least help. He's clearly doing the most carrying on offense, and he has the best record in the AFC. As you know, despite having the least help, a significant amount of injuries around him. Like, and to your point, because we were talking before about like the running versus passing thing with Jalen Hurts. Now, Lamar Jackson's another one. If you are like a lot of people who, for whatever reason, really don't like Lamar Jackson, we can kind of allude as to why he gets so much unique hate for whatever reason. But
the hate for Lamar, it bothers me. I just don't understand it.
I mean, we know where it, we know where it is. No matter what he does, and like I'm not even a Ravens fan, but like I always feel like I have to support him because like I know why he's getting all of the hate that he does. And the running back joke, like if we just looked at his passing numbers, like his passing numbers aren't as good as the other ones, but it doesn't matter. He's winning all the time. And this is even before this particular year. Like he has one of the best win percentages in league history as a quarterback. And he's had almost no weapons throughout most of his career. He's usually had like one good weapon per year. And the past couple of years, it's been Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
So despite that, no matter what, despite him doing all of that, he still gets all of that hate. But like, he's carrying that team. Like, look at what he did yesterday. Like, like he's the only top quarterback of a solid Super Bowl caliber team that has no real elite, that doesn't have at least one elite weapon on his offense.
Man,
I think that means a lot.
Hey, that's a fair point. Because in the middle of the season, I kind of said something to that effect, but I was waiting for Lamar to have a couple of all-out games. But when you see games like he had last night, where his numbers are not going to wow you. So if you're talking about MVP racing, you're looking for numbers, you're not going to get wowed by Lamar's numbers. You're not. Yeah. That's just a fact. But now, if you combine his all-purpose yards and his all TDs, then you can probably have a conversation there off his numbers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, people always give him shit for like not being like a pocket passer check down machine for some reason, as if that's the only way to play quarterback. But clearly, being a dual threat is working because he's winning. Yeah. What difference does it make how you get the yards? He gets the yards.
As long as you get it. And it's funny that you say that because last night to me was a prime example of Lamar Jackson. And I think a lot of people they're not trying to give him that credit of him being a ability to throw. But when you see yesterday, he's literally trying to make an effort to be a passer, because he's literally standing in the pocket and he's literally like ducking and dodging, getting out of sacks so he can still throw the ball. He's not trying to run. This is what I want football fans to realize about Lamar Jackson. You kept saying that he's a running back, he's too quick to run. Well, he has literally made it a conscious effort this year to steal, even in the mix of being bum rushed and dodging and scooping under defensive tackles like he did last night, and still not taking off when he has all the ability to go get an easy 15, 20 yards, and he's still doing all this with the mindset of throwing the ball. And a lot of people are not giving him his flowers of him showing that progression in his game, that he's being such a magician back there just to throw the ball. Because there was numerous times last night, Randy, that he could have just taken off and easily got 15, 20 yards. Easily. He's trying to show that he can pass it. And sure enough, hey, he ain't got to prove nothing to me because I always knew he can throw. It was the moment when I saw him and Deshaun Watson going back and forth back in college, Louisville versus Clemson on a Monday night game. They were going at it, put up crazy numbers. And Lamar Jackson didn't even have nearly close to as many weapons and ammunition as Clemson did. And he took Deshaun Watson and Clemson to the absolute limits. That was the year he won the Heisman. That's when I knew he was for real. I did not need to know what his progression was going to be in the NFL. I just needed to see that he could progress. I knew he could play. I just need people to stop with the just. If you don't like him, just say that. But let's not be, just complete oblivious to the fact that this dude can do things that probably other 31 quarterbacks that are starting cannot do.
And his passing numbers even are better than they've been in the past few years. Like he's even improving in that regard. Since 2019 was probably his best numbers then.
His completion percentage is ridiculous this year. He's been leading the league for the most part all season. He may not be in the lead now, but for the most part, he's been at least near the top of completion percentage.
He was at about 70% like a couple weeks ago, at least. I think he's still around there now.
It's ridiculous, man. Nobody wants to give the man his props, but I will, and I'm glad you are too, because the man has been very dangerous when it comes to his completion percentage. It was near the top. For the most part, he's not at the top right now.
He's at 66.3% now.
Yeah, he's at 66.3. Like you said, but there was a point in time when he was leading the league for majority of the season at like 71%. So let's not act like Lamar can't be accurate. I hate that narrative. I think it's bullshit. To me, it's quite lazy football tape. Just to say that, oh, you're a running back, you can't throw. All right, fine. And he's been doing it this year. So we got about 10, 11 minutes left in the show. Let's kind of do a quick rundown of week 15. Obviously, we already talked about tonight's Monday Night Football game. I'm pretty sure you're still ecstatic about that loss.
Yes,
you're still ecstatic about that loss. But let's start with Thursday, man. Raiders can't get a point the week before, but they put 63 up on the Chargers. Brandon Staley gets fired. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you, like everybody else, that what the hell took this guy so long to get fired?
Dude, it should have been after last year's playoff game. Like, okay, so I said this in the group, and this still stands. All right, we just talked about Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan took Brock Purdy, the last draft pick in the draft, and made him one of the best quarterbacks in the league immediately. We've seen Mike Tomlin take a bottom 5 offense and get them to a winning record. We saw Brian Daboll take Daniel Jones, the most injured team in the league, a horrible O-line, and the worst receiving core in the league, and get them to the playoffs. Like, we've seen coaches do magic work with way worse rosters to work with. Meanwhile, Brandon Staley was given 8 to 9 Pro Bowl caliber players on both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the
Justin
ball.
Herbert, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, Asante Samuel, Khalil Mack, who's the current sack leader.
Yeah.
That the team with the current sack leader gives up 63 points to a team that couldn't score a point against the Vikings?
Yeah.
Preposterous.
Yeah.
Haterous.
Yeah.
So he should have been gone so much longer ago. I'm not even a Chargers fan, and I'm happy to see him gone because I'm a fan of justice.
Yeah.
And he deserved to be punished for that game.
Hey man, you hit it right on the head. We had some NFL action on Saturday. Vikings get the loss in overtime to the Bengals. Bengals come back 27-24. Colts put a whooping on the Steelers 30-13. Lions put a whooping on the Broncos 42-17. Anything of those three games that stood out to you?
I have not really known what to think of the Steelers, and them losing to the Colts kind of solidifies what I thought is like they're what they're always going to be. They're going to maintain a winning record just because of a great defense and good coaching. Speaking of which, we were going to the MVP conversation, and I actually did have like an outside name that I'd kind of always thought of in this year, going back to what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Watt, I think, because of the fact that he's maintained a winning record on a team with a bottom 5 offense, I think speaks volumes about how valuable he is to that team. And that's not the first time that he's done that. I don't think it's going to happen. It would be an outside shot, but I think he's a name that should be in consideration if non-quarterbacks are going to be talked about. Because that is very impressive. That team should not be as good as they've been this year. Although they're starting to go on the decline.
Yeah, still sitting at 7-7 right now, so they still got some work to do. I'm not mad at your take, but just the way the NFL works, they'll never put a defensive guy in there, so he'll definitely be in consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. That's for sure. Yeah,
deserves that. Either him or Myles Garrett are probably going to be the top 2, and they probably deserve to be the top 2.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I will say this: the Lions needed that win. Because they were sliding, and they were starting to hear the talks of, same old Lions. Here they go. Here they go.
Yeah.
Because
normally beating the Broncos wouldn't mean anything because this is the team that got 70 dropped on them, but they have been pretty good the past 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I actually bet on the Broncos to win because the Lions were on the decline, the Broncos were on the come up.
Yeah.
But it looks like it feels like they'd had a lot of upsets the past couple of weeks, and now the teams that should have been the expected winners won most of the games this week. And this was kind of another example of that. So, yeah, I mean, nice to see that the Lions have figured out whatever was going on, maybe. We'll see where the playoffs go for them.
Yeah. Hey, don't let up, Lions, because I'm telling you, once y'all get to the playoffs and you start sneaking up the joint, it's just going to give everybody the reason to say same old Lions, same old Lions. So don't let up off that gas. I'm looking at a one game in particular. It was a garbage game, obviously, but it speaks volumes. Atlanta Falcons go down to Carolina and can't even get a victory over a 1-win team. They lose 7-9. If you are the general manager of the Falcons, what do you do to improve this team? Just off the top of your head, what are you going to do to improve this team?
Get a quarterback. Get a quarterback. First of all, get a new coach and then get a quarterback.
My brother.
Arthur Smith is the weirdest coach I've ever seen. He has Kyle Pitts. He gets a high drafted tight end and then never uses him. He gets a high drafted, the best running back in the draft, and then never uses him. I don't know. I don't understand anything that he does. It's so weird. Just get someone new and then get a quarterback that doesn't suck because they have good weapons and they have a good defense. Their quarterback just sucks. They're both of their quarterbacks suck. They just need one that doesn't.
Thank you. Hey man, I for the life of me, I have no idea how the hell Arthur Smith is still having a job. I like literally Kyle Pitts, free my man, free Kyle Pitts, man.
Yes.
If you're going to keep Arthur Smith, free him. Because fact of the matter is, free Breezon too. Free Breezon. Free Drake London. Free them all. Free them all.
Yeah.
I have no idea how this guy literally has a plethora of weapons that can literally make some plays if he uses them.
I was watching the PFF podcast, and they were talking about Arthur Smith, and they had a really funny way of like talking about him, because they were like, he's that guy that's like, okay, so like we have all these really good players, but you know what they're going to predict for us to use the good players, so let's not do that.
Hey.
And that's totally true. Like that, I think that's what in his head he's doing. Is like, we're gonna surprise them by like throwing to all our backups the whole time, and then we're just gonna have Kyle Pitts and Bijan sit there. Like, why? Like, don't do that. Like, just use good players.
So I had Bijan and Kyle both on my same fantasy team, and it was a crapshoot because it's like, man, do I keep him in? Do I take him out? It was weird every week because the matchup wise, I'm like, yo, they should kill these. I left Bijan and Kyle Pitts in yesterday because I'm thinking, no, they're playing a 1-win team, Panthers, bro. They should explode. I got little to no production from neither one of them, and I'm pretty sure I got eliminated from the playoffs because of it. Because I'm like, damn you, Arthur Smith. But it's not just him. He's not just him. Desmond Ridder is probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yeah. Oh, he's terrible. They lost to the Commanders because he kept throwing interceptions like a couple of weeks ago. Like, he's just awful. And they could be a really good team if it wasn't for their coach and their quarterback. Like, they have the weapons. They're there. You know, and this is the thing with like fantasy also, because like everyone predicted like Bijan. Like, Bijan was ranked super high, like super high.
I thought he was going to blow up.
Yeah, and he's been a talented quarterback, been a talented running back when he's been able to play. I don't blame anybody for projecting him high, but this is why I don't draft rookies, because you never know. Even if they end up being really good, you never know what's going to actually happen with them. Like, this is a case where like he is a really good player, but he's just locked up by a terrible coach who doesn't use him, and that's just something you can't really predict. You never know what's going to happen.
No, that's fair. That's probably the best way that you could sum it up, because it was just like, especially early, because he was using them early, and just, I guess you got to find out what you paid for early in the draft.
He was second in rushing yards early in the season.
Yes, and then all of a sudden he was like, yeah, I'm gonna outsmart myself and not use this highly talented Swiss Army knife that can literally. Bijan Robinson is of the same mode of Christian McCaffrey with more athleticism to him.
Yeah. He could be the best running back in the league on a pure talent basis, and he's young still. But his good years might end up being ruined by this. Like, yeah, free Bijan, 100%. Like, if they don't fix their situation with Smith and Desmond, then, yeah, absolutely free Bijan, so he can go be a star somewhere where he's appreciated.
Ridiculous. So yeah, man. Last 30 seconds, man. What happened to your Giants, man? What's up, bro?
Well, I'm glad we was able to come on the show. It's it's certainly getting around that time.
What's up? Tommy Cold Cuts, Tommy Chicken Cutlets went cold. What happened?
Okay, so I've obviously been thrilled about DeVito Mania. You know, like, been super all about it, but I've also been skeptical because, yeah, like, okay, he beat the Commanders and then he beat the Patriots, who are the worst teams in the league, and then he beat the Packers, who are like kind of a middle of the pack team that's been struggling a bit, like on a week to week basis too. So he looked really good in those games, but how much does that actually prove? Was always kind of my point. Was it the teams? Was it the fact that he is new and coaches haven't figured out how to scheme for him yet. You know, the Saints defense was going to be the real test. And
7 sacks.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, you know, obviously that's not all his fault. He didn't get sacked at all the week before against the Packers, despite having the same O-line. You know, like it's just he has a horrible O-line, and he was playing against an elite defense, and you know that was just what was going to happen. I'm not going to give him a ton of shit for losing against an elite defense in his like 5th start of the entire league against the worst O-line in the league.
Of course. Yeah. No, I just wanted to see where your head was at with your Giants, man. That's all. But man, like always, man, I appreciate you, Randy, for joining me. One more time, man. Give your socials out. Anything you want to plug so the people can get in contact with you, man.
You can get me on Insta, Panther on Acid Productions. You can. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for anything audio-based, like that would probably be the best place to get me.
Word. So there you have it, man. Hey, I thank you, my brother. Y'all know where to find me. Wildcard Mar on the Facebook, Instagram. Casey Wildcard Mar on the Twitter. Everything I.O.W. sports related on the bottom. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification, let you know when we drop more content. We everywhere, man. Hey, y'all know where to find us. Hey, this has been fun. On behalf of my man, Randy, Wildcard Mar, we out, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace and love.
Peace.
Come on. Silent Hill TV, yes. Hitchhikers. Yeah, smoking so much dope, I'm seeing traces. Visual lasers load across the scene is dangerous, aggressive like behavior. Couple monsters from my neighbors, resisting human nature. Persistently getting greater, blood chase like the Terminator. Fire up the green, I need it, increase the dopamine. Feel better, so I kill better, doped up of cocaine. Roaming like I never had a home, so I'm all alone. Smoking bones down the chromosomes till the filter's gone. Suffocating under heavy pressure, the signature marks are the cornerstone of a nigga that's ready to spark. Like the pathway through the treacherous, wonderful dark. Searching for a lost spark, curators of a lost art. Desperately holding shit together until it falls apart. Blood started pulling the water, just waiting on the sharks. Love is the deadliest game, but I'll just massacre your heart. Tearing at your body, wondering how did we start from?
Man, I think a nigga about to spaz out, cause I don't give a fuck no more when I'm down to my last night. Then I ran out of luck, feeling look down, about to pass out. Speeding down the highway in this challenge, afraid of God I will crash out. Dump the ash out, give it all up, dump the cash out. Make every second count, I just wanna see that ass bounce. Bitch, what you talking about? Drop dead, delete the party, nigga, watch your damn mouth. You don't wanna get me started.
Go! Pedal to the metal, hit the floor. Flying through the city, and that's about to float. Got the main, got the shit get close. You already know how this can go.